You know it's a Sunday night roast when one of the two hosts have passed away. This is what I found when I got into the studio tonight. And I got to tell you the truth, he's not looking much better now. But it's time to crank out an hour of top-notch Sunday night content on the Sunday Roast.
Welcome to the Sunday Roast with Mike and Danny. This is Danny, and this is Mike, and we're kind of strange. We're in the tub, and we drink a lot. At least one of us does. This is not Mike's body, but that is Danny's, and that's really gross. Thanks for watching the Sunday Roast. We love our fans. And here's Danny's mom.
His name's Michael.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
And he's a Jew. You can tell he's a Jew. Look at
Ask him
him.
who's his daddy.
Magical moment. I can almost taste Danny. It's so close I can almost taste him. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. It's the Sunday Roast with your hosts, Magic Mike and Danny the GFP.
Danny, you're vertical again.
I tell you what, it was very touch and go, but I've managed to resuscitate myself via the means of Tesco's no added sugar cream soda.
Beautiful. Well, and I am replenishing. Yes. What am I replenishing? I'm replenishing any portion of liquid in my body that was not made of alcohol from the last few days. I actually took it easy last night for very specific reasons, but yeah, it's been. I'm in Baltimore still. I'm headed to Orlando tomorrow morning for the next leg of the tour. So I'm kind of at a airport hotel. Not a bad one though. I'm not going to get robbed, but I'm a little dragging right now. You're a little dragging right now, and I hear I have a beating to take for some reason that I'm yet unsure about.
What's the thing? What do I moan at you the most? Apart from stop sending me nudes, what else do I moan at you about the most?
My microphone.
Get that shitty microphone and throw it in the sea. Open the window when you're on the plane. Lob it out the window because it does this all the time.
This one?
No, not that one. That one's top quality. That other one, that £2 one. So you're doing all these interviews with these great people, and you're hearing.
No, that wasn't the microphone. I was actually doing that.
No, you weren't.
I was like, "Hey, Ray Parler, how you doing?"
Oh, you were hippity hop. You thought you were the Run, the D, and the MC.
I could not take this in. I'm not going to walk around. The only reason I use that one is because it actually can fit in my pocket and it plugs into my iPhone.
Have you got a microphone in your pocket? Are you pleased to see me?
I was pleased to see everybody this weekend. And I had a microphone in my pocket.
I was watching the live show as well, and because what else? I tell you, don't touch things. With your big monkey sausage fingers. Don't touch things. You picked up the microphone off the table, leant across, and then you turned off the volume on your microphone for about 20 minutes. Isn't that what happened?
That is not exactly what happened, because when we diagnosed the issue, it was
diagnosed.
Mute. Well, we finally diagnosed the issue. The mute button on StreamYard had been somehow hit. Now, I can't hit that from 10 feet away.
Who was running it? Amateurs.
Well, yes, I am an amateur. This is what we did for.
Who was running it? Because people were highlighting messages as you were doing the show.
Yes, that was Mikey Hers behind the scenes in the chat.
And AC Milan fan, Mikey Hers.
Yes, the young Mexican AC Milan fan.
Yeah.
He was the one that was essentially running StreamYard. My laptop, which was running StreamYard, was the distance away from me that it appeared that it was, which is about probably 10 or 15 feet to get the whole panel in. And then we had the microphone essentially running across the room from there. So for it to there was zero chance that the microphone was muted in and of itself.
Okay, I'll let you wave it then. So Mike Hertz had one of his kids. He was like those Muppets who make the Apple phones and the Nike trainers. He'd got all of his little kids to go out for 20 cents an hour to go and run the show, and he probably charged you full whack still.
Yeah, I didn't. I really don't want to blame.
No one tell him that he's done it again. No one tell him. No one tell him that we can't hear him.
This time it's because I had to unplug the other computer.
There we go.
Yeah.
We're back in the game, people.
Can you hear me now?
You've been touching things again, haven't you, Feinberg? Yes, I can. Your dulcet tones. Oh, we've got one of your lot there. Laurie Laker.
I love me some Laurie. He's actually one of your lot who now is over, who's become one of our lot.
Ah, what? I thought Laurie was American.
Laurie lives in America, but that does not make one American.
I've been bold to Google there, haven't I?
Him there. What?
Ah, did you meet him? Was he at the game?
No, Laurie was not at this game. I have actually never met Laurie in person, but it feels like I have.
Didn't they write a book?
And it needs to happen.
I think they wrote a book. I'm sure we had them on ABW. Him and a woman that wrote a book.
Laurie Laker is a man, first of all.
I know, him and a woman.
Oh, him and a woman? I don't think that's ever happened.
Oh, here we go. Mike, we met in Denver, Mike.
Right.
Fucking hell.
That is the most offensive thing I've ever said to Laurie. Because...
No, the most offensive thing you said was after your last podcast ended with me, you, and Fergus.
Oh, jeez. I don't know if
we'll skirt over that.
Yeah, let's skirt over that. Denver was. I'll tell you what it was. Is that, no, the issue with me not remembering meeting Laurie in Denver is that we had not yet become the level of friends that we and lovers that we now are. So it didn't at the time.
Don't tease the boy. You've gone from I've never met him to I've met him to now we want to make sweet love together.
It did resonate. You know, I met some people on this trip. Finally, put some faces with names. Even saw poorly drawn Arsenal. He was sitting in front of the press box, and he turned around and said, "I could." He just texted me a picture of myself, and you could tell from where the picture was taken that he was about 30 to 40 feet away from me. And I'm like, "All right, man, where are you?" And then I just see some guy stand up, looking nothing like a walrus. Stands up and waves at me, and I'm like, face reveal. So, but yeah, it was. It's been a great couple of days, and I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit. And but first, I'm hearing anecdotes from my daughter and from every other single person that I know that lives in England that it is brutally hot there. Brutally.
You're not wrong, Wiki boy. You're not wrong. At the moment, in my sitting room, it's 29.4 degrees. Outside my bedroom window, it's 24.5. Sitting room window, 25.8. And the back garden one, the batteries run out. But yeah, in American money, that's what's 30. That's nearly about 85 degrees currently, and it's 9:41 p.m.
American money. Yeah, that's.
I love it.
Oh, see, you might be the only man of girth that enjoys the. I mean, you know, the nice thing. I mean, you don't get swamp ass probably because you're not necessarily walking around all the time. Like.
And I am sat on an old pillowcase that is nice and cotton and brushed cotton. It's nice for me booty. But I sat in my chair. I was saying to you before the show, the reason I was leaning back is I'm sat in my chair slightly on the piss. So part of the chair is digging in my back of my leg. It's irritating me. Yeah,
I mean, there were points on this weekend in Baltimore, and this will become as a welcome piece of news to all the people that came up and hugged me and that I hugged and there were times where had I just sat down on the ground, I probably would have just slid down the hill just like a snail for miles and miles because of the level of swampiness that was going on. But
was there drippage?
I can neither confirm nor deny drippage.
Bum soup.
The swamp ass.
Steph wants to know what temperature is my desk. It is 29.2 degrees, Steph. And earlier, out in my front
Which is
garden,
85 degrees Fahrenheit.
out in my front garden today, it was 47 degrees in direct sunlight.
Well, in direct
And the
sunlight.
thing that I have that measures it is white, and it's on a white window ledge. So it's not like they're black and they're absorbing all the extra heat. I mean, there will be some buildup of heat there, but if you're going out in the sun,
once again giving energy to the people who believe that you're racist.
yes,
You only do the temperature in the white part.
Yep, that's it.
I'm
my
trying
cat
to make him grow. I'm trying to help him.
You sound
get woke.
like that. You say yes, and you're about to go broke. You and your dodgy drinks. How dare you, Nick?
This is how woke Danny is right now.
Well, if I lean back like that, it takes the pressure off of that part of my leg. Or I don't even know how to describe that. I'd have to get someone to strip naked in front of me, and I could poke with a poker and go, there, that's where it hurts, because my chair's got a metal frame on it.
You have access to things like that. You can order those things online now if you want. Or you could just invite your mom over.
No, not in this weather. She's only diddy. She probably shrunk even more in this weather. And Sean was back. Remember Sean from pre-COVID? That Sean was back. Not
Really?
Post-COVID, wanky Sean who I wanted to strangle. No, pre-COVID. But then she come back yesterday.
You guys are on a positive swing on the cycle now?
Yeah, seemingly.
Lovely.
She came back yesterday and we didn't see her. And then I got a phone call at about 11:30 last night. Oh, my friends have left me. I've got no money. I haven't got a card. I want to come home. And I said, she said, there's no taxis for an hour. Oh, I feel sick. So I rang around a few taxi firms and I said to them, my daughter's on her own. Her mates are fucked off. Can you get a taxi to her soon? He said, well, the journey's normally 15 quid. If we cancel the current order, that's going to be, or the taxi, that's going to be charge you an extra £5. I said, just go pick her up. I'll pay for it. And then my daughter rang me up and went, oh, she's back now. And she gave me her keys so I can go back to her house, which is another 5 miles, 10 miles in the other direction past mine. So it ended up being 30 fucking quid. And there she didn't have any money. The bloke had to come and drop her off here. Well, and and I was waiting at the front door with the money. And then he said, oh, your dad really loves you. She went, oh, no. And she started crying. And at no point did she offer to fucking pay it back, the little cow. Don't drink, people. When you're sad, don't drink. It just makes it a depressive. And she was a mess. And then she went home and puked. She's staying at her mate's house in Alconbury. Went home and puked.
I did throw up this weekend. It wasn't really from excessive. It was not from just over drinking though. It was from the rest of the decisions I made as a result of over drinking.
Were you eating seafood?
Fried chicken at 5. Well, no, I had some seafood, but 5 a.m. chicken after being out all night. And then a half a dozen donuts, and then you just pop in bed and go for a great night's sleep. I mean, that's what kind of. I mean, how is that a bad decision?
So, who did you meet then? Stuart McFarlane was very, very eager to stand up and join in, which is good to see. And you met Gunnosaurus.
Stu, I mean, most of these guys I met on the last tour. Stuart has been on the podcast. I've met him, but he was absolutely a highlight of our panel on Thursday. More than happy, very, very chatty. He's gotten very comfortable. When we first started having him on the podcast, his first appearance on the podcast was non-visual. It was a live YouTube stream, but he was off camera. And we were happy to have him in any format, but he's like, I prefer really being behind the camera than in front of it. And it's funny because who else told us that one time was Kevin Campbell, and now he does a regular podcast and obviously appears on a lot of them. But you suddenly just get comfortable. And Stu absolutely loved being there. He had his buddy Mark Brindle, the supporters liaison, who's wonderful for all of us here over in the U.S. and in other countries as well. Lovely guy, and the two of them just kind of had their own show going on while we were doing the rest of the show as well. Unfortunately, Kevin, Kaya was due to come directly from the airport in Baltimore to the show and get there pretty much right when it was supposed to begin. And then, like has happened in almost every single case with airplanes right now, his flight was delayed, and it was delayed by about 3 hours. So he didn't get – show started at 9 p.m. local time, and he was supposed to arrive to the bar at about 9 p.m., which is 2 a.m. his internal time. And instead, he got in at midnight, which is like 5 a.m., and it just wasn't going to happen. So,
from England.
Yeah, from London. So we weren't able to have Kaya on that panel, but I don't see a reason why Kaya will not be on our panel on Thursday night in Orlando, which is a lot more news is getting ready to come out. We're just finalizing the details, but probably be 2 new members on the panel, and maybe we lose one. Well, we will lose one in Mike Kavanaugh. So it'll be fun. We're doing it again. I surround myself with people that others want to see, and in the process, elevate myself. It's brilliant.
And you're not an easy gentleman to elevate, are you? For one reason.
No, no. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of cranes, and it takes the ancient Greeks were incredible with their levers and their pulley systems that they figured out. It does take a lot, but it happens. So yes, that was fun. Had a good time. Stu was there. James, freshly bald, shaven James McNicholas was there. There's a rule apparently that if you are a journalist, like a top journalist for Arsenal, you have to be almost 7 feet tall. Because
Tom's tall.
Tom is tall. James McNicholas is shockingly tall. Kaya is taller than either one of them.
I had Kaya down as quite short. I had him down maybe 5'8".
Kaya's a good 6'5", maybe.
Jesus, holy moly!
He's a giant, and a guy who I've been kind of trying to get a little bit introduced by Gab Marcotti, but James Ollie was at the game last night from ESPN, and he's a tall one too. Like, I really don't understand it. I am the shortest person who's ever covered an Arsenal game. I'm not calling myself a journalist, but but as far as press box is concerned, I'm the shortest person ever, and I'm almost 6 feet tall. So
I did laugh where everyone's all standing there and they're holding their microphones, and you've got your little Band Hero microphone. You're holding.
I was trying to have it face down. I was really trying to have it face down.
Those who know what that really is. That's something you got free with an Xbox thing about 15 years ago.
That was that did come free with and I think it was for the Nintendo Wii. But
I mean, you might as well get a microphone with a unicorn stuck in it for just for the bants, as the youths would say. I'm leaning over because my ass is hurting again, or my leg is. Oh,
well, that is why I used that microphone, because it was the only. It was either that or just the regular, and it might have been better with like just the regular phone doing the voice memo, like everything else. But
were you taking a mickey at my yawn then?
A little bit.
Oh, cheeky! Did you meet anybody new? Any famous people? Or was it the first time you met Gunnersaurus? I met him back in the Highbury days.
That was not the first time I ever. No, me and Gunnersaurus go way back.
Millions of years back.
To the paleo. Well, the thing that sucks is it's not the same Gunnersaurus, and while I never knew the guy Jerry Quay that wore the Gunnersaurus costume for years and years and years, I do feel for him that he was made redundant, and then they brought back Gunnersaurus, but they didn't bring back the guy in the suit. They brought back the suit, which
imposter.
However, I'm not sure if the original guy would have waved his penis for my camera when I decided to introduce his penis. And I was trying to upload those videos. Part of the reason we were half an hour late is I was trying to upload videos into the StreamYard so that we could play them, and I don't have a single one that I was able to get from my phone to my computer and into the Sunday roast. So you'll have to go to my Twitter to see those, or I can put that's funny, Dylan, or I can just put my phone up to the screen. But I am pretty sure that when James saw a large sleeping man in his hotel room, his first thought might have been, I thought Mike
You
was
in the wrong
involved.
hotel room?
I'm in a hotel room tonight, yeah.
No, we were usually living in someone else's room.
No, you didn't hear the story about James? James tweeted today, McNicholas tweeted that
How
when
would
he
I
checked,
know? I've got him blocked.
why?
I don't like him.
Really?
Yes, he irritates me.
Well, I'm not sure we could be on the same podcast if
I find him quite fraudulent. He just irks me. I don't know why. I never met him.
really.
I know he does a lot of stuff for people like you. And Arsblog isn't is probably not a bad judge of character. He just irks me. I don't like him.
Well, you know
I
what?
might have him muted, not blocked. I don't know.
You're entitled to your opinion, but you're wrong.
You're entitled to your opinion, but you're wrong.
Your mom's wrong.
Shit.
So, yeah. So anyway, I am very fond of James. I enjoy his company. He tolerates mine, and
Sounds
he
about
tweeted.
right.
He tweeted that he got to Orlando today, promptly checked into his hotel room, and within and betwixt his hotel room was a sleeping large man, which immediately prompted not just me. I mean, apparently I'm not that original, because my joke was going to be, oh, hey, I thought you wanted to see me, and that it would be a nice surprise. Meanwhile, by the time I'm done typing that, there's 5 other tweets implying that it was me, because he said that it was a large man. like it was. They weren't implying that we have a nice relationship or anything like that. They were just implying that if it's a large man, it was probably Mike.
And was it you?
I have not perfected how to be in 2 places at one time. So he was in Orlando. I am in Baltimore, soon to be in Orlando if my flight does not get canceled, which will suck.
Oh, you're having flight problems in the USA. I thought you meant because at Heathrow, they've said, could you please stop using planes, everybody? Could you all please fuck off?
Yeah,
which is why I thought you said Kaya was late.
Well, I mean, the planes have been delayed. I mean, I've been following my daughter's travels all over Europe, and she hasn't had a single plane been canceled yet, but she also hasn't had one that's taken off within 45 minutes of its time. Mine is a 6:30 a.m. direct flight tomorrow, and I'm getting in a couple hours before the kit release, which I'm lucky enough to be able to take part in as far as being there in attendance. And it's, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow at about 3:30 in the afternoon and find that I have 0 flight. I'm going to ask you a quick favor, and I'm going to ask you that of the chat as well. If the chat can vamp for a little bit and give some stuff for Danny to talk about, I need about 2 minutes, because a mate of mine has his bags in my room, and he's got to head to the airport. So he's here a little bit early. So if we can do that.
I don't know what to do. Don't leave me. All right, I don't know what to talk about. Go on then, piss off.
It's not quite yet. It's when he gets here. So So
we need to say hello to everybody on Twitter watching. Hello, there's 7 of you watching on. There was 8. There's now 7 of you watching on Twitter. If you're wondering how you can interact with the show, you probably just tweet us. And if you put a little note in the tweet saying that you're on the show and you've got a question, let us know, and I'll ask the question and I'll say who it's from, because that's the only way you can interact with us from the live show on Twitter, which is nice. Oh, Ryan's watching us on a 50-inch TV and in my MacBook to be the comments section. Fucking hell, that's dedication. Some small talk, says Screen Boy. I think we can manage that. Tom says, Danny, talk to the dead cat on your microphone. I was counting. I have got 5 dead cats in my front garden. Is that allowed?
What?
Yeah.
5 dead cats in your front garden.
You've got Ken, Woody, and then you've got 3 legs. Then you've got Merson, Bella, and Amy. There's 6 dead cats in my front garden. Well, when they die, you bury them, don't you?
I think we need to interrupt the podcast at this point and just point out that Sophie is currently nude. I mean, we need to hold on. Give me a second, because this is breaking news.
That's definitely something to think about. I mean, she's kept herself looking good in her old age, isn't she?
Well, that was a backhanded compliment.
I mean, she's my age, our age, Mike. And quite frankly, if either of us were European sunbathing, I think the FBI and Interpol would be right on it.
All right,
or they drag us back into the water.
I'm going to remove this banner and turn it into a crawl. So that, okay. And this could just stay for the entirety of the remainder of the show. Just did a podcast with Sophie.
She's not completely nude. More breaking news. Just the top half.
Fuck! I'm gonna get sued now for misleading
Your
people.
Filthy mind got the better of you. You dirty boy.
Our viewership just went from 42 to 38 after I mentioned this. So that's you got to be a little careful there. Oh, Ava, be very careful with the Sophie comments. I've pissed her off plenty of times before, and we've made it back. So I'm pretty sure I'm okay. I hope I'm okay.
If Sophie's there, maybe fake Meg Ryan is there. And if you are, happy birthday, fake Meg Ryan.
Happy birthday. Yep. It's
saw the pictures of you two.
Lovely.
Couldn't quite make out the names on the back of the shirts. I know fake Meg Ryan had a number 1. Did it have cheese on the back or something? I can't remember what it was. I remember thinking that word is associated with cheese. It was one word. Fuck it. Sophie will tell us.
Well, technically, between the two of us, we're nude because while Sophie has no top on, do I have to finish?
Oh, fake Meg Ryan sends smooches. Thank you very much.
A smooch from.
Oh, it said tiger on the back of it. I knew it was something short. I don't know why I thought cheese related.
Yeah. There's no two words I associate more closely than tiger and cheese. I mean,
Demtech says happy birthday. Be excited says milk. And obviously,
can we just call him FMR at this point? I mean, is FMR like a thing now?
Well, she's an Arsenal fan. We've got ESR, AMN. Now we've got FMR, fake Meg Ryan.
Oh, by the way, since you're watching, Sophie, the friend of mine who needs to pick up his bags from my room and may even pop his head in during the pod is none other than Rick Hicks, the former producer of Highbury and Heels and the Gooner Ramble, former employee of or volunteer for, I should say, for Sophie. So Sophie loves her some Rick.
Will he come in and critique your equipment like I do, or will he be more polite about it?
He'll probably be more polite about it, but we had some fun moments this weekend though, because we stayed in an Airbnb together. Myself, Tom Rosenhammer, Rick Hicks, and one of Tom's friends from Richmond, who's a pretty cool guy. And I mean, we thought there would be some laughs and some
shenanigans,
some moments. Okay, vamp for a minute because here he comes.
Okay.
But yeah, it lived up to its expectations.
Good. Right. It seems like Tom. Do you know this Rick person, Tom? Sophie says love Rick and miss him. Sophie, where are you? If you're sunbathing, well, you could be in LA, couldn't you? Because it's only going to be 3 in the afternoon there. No, 2 in the afternoon. 8 hours behind. And Dem6 says, Highbury squad, I was just thinking of Frosties and great. Tom does know them indeed. Excellent. I said I was going to go over and have a look at the Twitter and see if anybody who was watching us live on Twitter has said anything. No, you haven't. You utter scumbags. I'll give you the chance to have a voice, and you've let me down and you've all fucked off. Excellent. Right. Ryan, you said you've had enough. Sophie's at Huntington Beach. Mars Gunner says it's rainy in California. Jeez, I can't. It's so hot because we're kind. Got a massive big container about that big by about that deep. Filled it full of water and put it out in the front garden for the birds. And then the lids of them, they're about the same size, about that thick. And so we filled the lids with water as well, so that the hedgehogs out there can go there and have a little bit of water. Mike, is this the man Rick that they're all saying hello to?
This is the one and only Rick Hicks from St. Louis. It's
hello, Rick.
This is the first time I think we've had 3 people on the Sunday roast. but it's only right because Rick and I have been sleeping together for the last few days.
Well, when your wife leaves you, give her my number. I've always said she's too good for you.
You think I have a jet-setting lifestyle? I mean, how many different cities have you been in the last year or two?
7, probably.
It's not bad. He golfs. He drinks. He goes out. It's nice. So we got Sophie in the house. Yeah, Rick. You're not coming to Orlando.
I'm not coming to Orlando. Sorry. Because of this jet-setting lifestyle that Mike just mentioned, I am out of vacation days. I cannot make it to Orlando.
He works for the man. They want you back to you've just been offered a job with 0 pay.
Sophie
on the Highbury squad.
Again,
don't tell him Sophie's naked. Don't tell him.
Are they? Apparently they're willing to double your wage packet from 1 times 0 to 2 times 0, and it's going to be amazing. But yeah, oh man, Rick, one of the best additions to my close-knit group of Gooner friends ever, and it's strange that Sophie's known him longer than I have, but
I know.
Yeah.
Sophie was my first love. You're a distant second.
Yeah, I know. But
I see Tom in the chat from Tampa.
yeah, Tom Sable's in the chat.
All right.
Got a bunch of people who watch this show for. I mean, have we figured it out, Danny? Why anyone watches this?
Still no. We've put out a survey, and apparently they've got bugger all left to do for the day, and so they like to round it because it's 10 o'clock in the UK now, and so yeah, that's all they do. It's meant to be they give us topics, and then we talk about those topics. I think this is show number 22 in a row, nearly 6 months worth, and I think maybe one show we had a couple of topics, and the rest of the time they just let us sit here and talk like as if I was ringing you up and you were in hospital recovering from being hit by a lorry or something. You just talk shit. Just not like Gav rang me the other day, talked absolute bollocks for about an hour and a quarter. And I thought, I don't remember anything we just talked about.
Do you know what's so strange? The thing I hate more than just about anything else is talking on the phone. I don't know what it is because I clearly don't disdain talking, but I just don't like talking on the phone. I mean, it just seems so almost like old fashioned now at this point. Like I just, if you want to talk to me, if you want, Mom, I'm speaking directly to my mother, Michael. Why don't you pick up when I call? If you want to talk to me, let's start a weekly podcast, and then I'll tell you what's going on in my life. But just don't call me on the phone. I'm on the phone for work. I hate doing, so I just can't.
No sooner do I mention Gav, than Gav's there. We spoke for an hour and a quarter, Gav. What the fuck did we talk about?
Did you send out the Gav version of the bat signal?
No, I started getting chopsy and swearing on the internet, and he automatically gets an alert from Google when someone's swearing for no reason on the internet.
Gav's got to be going absolutely crazy right now with all the improper American fans that are attending these games here in the States.
Don't start him on that. Gav invented ABW with me.
The only reason I'm starting to go down that path is because he can't say anything right now that isn't other than just in the chat, and I can. So yeah, this.
Oh, that's right. My mum was talking about Gav's 2-skin. He said 4-skin. My mum went 2-skin. We still don't know why she said 2-skin because I had it on speakerphone and she came in and I said it's Gav, and then she started getting fruity, asking him what he was wearing and stuff. Absolute nightmare.
I've still yet to answer your question. Who did I meet? Who did we meet this weekend? I mean,
Ray Parlour obviously was a biggie.
We hadn't met before. I mean, Sebi I've met before on a number of occasions, but it is always special. Always special to get together with Sebi. Saw him before the game, saw him at the game. He was sat right next to where my son and his friends were. My son,
yeah, I sat next to Sebi.
Yeah. It was my son told me like 10 people came up and said, Little Mike, are you Little Mike, or like Little Wayne or Little Nas X? Like, are you?
Did you share how I flipped the script on that?
that I'm Big Jake?
No.
No, what did you say?
I looked at Jake and I said, "Where's the fat
Oh,
Feinberg?"
He didn't know I was in the press box, I guess. So he sees Jake and his friend, and he's like, "Where the hell's the fat Feinberg? I need him."
Yeah. In the UK, we actually have something called a fatberg. Do you know what that is? It's an actual official description of you know what wet wipes are, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah, wet wipes are they're not biodegradable. So people in the UK flush them down their toilets. And so the huge sewer systems of London are from like the 17th century, and all the wet wipes and all the other shit people flush down the toilet all get molded into one giant thing. It was like the size of a Volvo.
Oh yeah, no. Actually, I do remember that, and I remember that being in the news about eight or 9 years ago. Not only that, but we learned the hard way when we had young children not to flush those down the toilet, because I came home one day with my then 7-year-old son going down to the basement to play, the basement underground below the ground level, and running that back up and saying, "Daddy, there's poopy on the floor," and going downstairs and seeing that the entire sewer system. We're at the lowest point in our neighborhood. That's where our house is. And so we had some water and flooding issues, but this was sewage. Had come back up through the pipe leading out from our house into the main sewer, and brown water with toilet paper and all this other stuff had come in through the bathroom, through the toilet, through the sink, onto the carpet, and had to have the entire thing basement redone. And it happened twice. It happened once the day I found out that my dad was not going to live, that he was terminally ill, and so I almost laughed at that point, because I was like, what else could fucking happen today? And then the second time it happened, it was just gross and angry and annoying. But so I guess we had a fatberg inside and outside of our house, but
Twice, because he doesn't learn very well.
yeah. Well, the first time it was baby wipes when the kids were young. The second time it was when my daughter was about 13 years old.
Yes.
Sean once stood in dog shit and then flushed the sock down the toilet, and it blocked the toilet. That's about as good as I can do there.
Yeah. Well, I clogged. By the way, I acted as though I had found it that way, but I clogged the toilet at Abbey Burger Bistro.
You did
this weekend. Yes.
Well, who else?
It wasn't the traditional way. I went into the toilet and I was sweating my ass off, and I used a bunch of toilet paper to wipe the sweat off my face and threw it in the thing and clogged it. So it wasn't so when the guy from behind the bar had to unclog the toilet, it wasn't like my shit was rolling around in there and coming up. It was
your sweat. It
was just wet. Yeah. But who does that? There I am asking them for a plunger.
Doesn't make a good story.
No, it didn't then, and it doesn't now probably. But
Sophie has a question for us. She says, "Okay, pop quiz. If you had to eat just a bit of that for $1 million, would you do it?
A bit of what?
Current exchange rates, that's nearly £1 million.
A fatberg?
Fatberg. You had to grab a handful of it and have a little nibble in it.
Oh, what's in there? It's just like solidified fecal matter.
Yeah.
Poo and wet wipes and used condoms and lady products and.
Well, what is like? I know
dead
like
people.
A bushel and a peck, and like there's some units of measurements. What's a bit exactly? Because like in computer parlance,
it looks like
it's very small.
She says eat, so you have to swallow some matter.
You can't just be like,
you can't just chew it and spit it out. It has to go down.
Well, I know it has to go down, but is it like this cookie crumb right here? We've always got food that I throw at the screen on this podcast. That's another tradition.
What you do, we have 10 boxes that you don't see in, and the size of that lump of muck goes from the size of a Tic Tac up to the size of a golf ball, and randomly put in the boxes. Huh?
If it was the
size,
you know
what a Tic Tac is?
I know. No, I said if it was the size. I know. Of course, I know what a Tic Tac is.
No, you don't have a choice.
Awful breath does not mean I don't know what mints are.
No, you get paid $1 million, but there's 10 boxes, and various size of that muck in it. The smallest Tic Tac and the biggest is a golf ball. But you have to pick a box, and you don't know what size which one is which, but you have to eat it.
We're turning this into a risk management game as well. So there's the possibility. I'm taking a chance that it's as large as a golf ball, but I'm also potentially going to get a Tic Tac. Is that where we are?
So you could get a Tic Tac, or you could get a golf ball, but you have to eat it.
Golf ball's the largest, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't know. They're random boxes.
They post this to you. You're doing.
They didn't post this to me. It doesn't say, Mike, would you rather? It says if you had to eat just a bit of that for $1 million, would you do it?
Mike is still negotiating in his own head. he's trying to figure.
He's trying to find a way of getting out of it. If once he realizes it's a golf ball size.
I don't think I'm violating any kind of confidence or HIPAA author laws by saying that. Rick and I both, I think, do pretty well in life financially.
Have we eaten worse?
Oh, Be Excited says, "Do I get ketchup?" That could be the deciding factor.
Do I get ketchup?
Can you mask the experience with somebody else? And are we assuming that it will not be fatal, or was that part of the risk that we're taking? Not just the disgustingness, but that I could get E. coli and drop dead like a month from now.
You just throw up for a while.
I'd throw up for a while on Saturday morning.
Probably worth $1 million.
Million?
Yeah. Because this is repulsive enough. You're just going to throw up. You're going to. You're gonna puke.
Okay, well, the deal is being sealed right now by Soph, because she's saying all sauce is available and no fatality.
Oh, a little sriracha? Yeah.
I would use. Okay, the next question. See, this is what the Sunday roast is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be a topic or a question that ends up on 5 different tangents, because then
only 22 weeks late.
Then
the question 22 weeks to get here.
The question then becomes, with your golf ball sized piece of Fatberg, what sauce would you prefer to have on it? Rank the top 5. That becomes the next 20 minutes that we go.
They'll double it if you don't have any sauce.
Ooh, double it with no sauce.
I would go for the regular sized offer with the sauce. Going from 1 to 2 million will not really move the needle for me. I mean, look, there's $1 million right here, and I'm not even going to make him eat anything. So,
has any of that been down your pants?
All of it.
Oh, double its value then. That's that. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire money, isn't it? You're still holding on to it.
All of this, you get to keep it. No, it's
a stack.
Is that your Who Wants to Be a Millionaire money? Hey, Feinberg.
What?
Is that what's left of your Who Wants to Be a Millionaire money?
No, this is money that is going to be this piece of money right here.
Yeah. I've got some $2 notes.
This piece of money is going to cure cancer right here. I found the piece that's going to cure it. This is putting us over the edge.
About fucking time.
That is a portion of the cash receipts from Gooners versus Cancer, which as soon as this show is over, I'm going to start spreadsheeting and getting to its final destination. I am the most honest person in the world when it comes to charity, but I don't mind flashing the money around like it's mine when it's on camera. But that money goes where it needs to go, which is going to be into Rick's mouth. I would go the sauce I would have on my golf ball size Fatberg, which I think now Carl's Jr. and Hardee's are now selling. Is and Arby's would be hollandaise sauce, or no, béarnaise sauce. Definitely béarnaise.
Loki says sauce has to be blended with puke with a pea appetizer.
This is an Arsenal podcast, by the way.
What's this Sophie saying about you did the indecent proposal thing on Tom Canton's show? What was that?
I was waving that money right before the Sunday roast. I was on Tom's Sunday evening show.
Fucking moonlighting again
with Sophie and Jared, who's back in the game again.
Anyway, he'll be gone soon. He'll only do one a year, if that. Or he's going to go off and get married or have a baby.
His job involves a very good thing that he does for people in need, and so yes, that he is he's frequently gone for long stretches. Day after he got back from his honeymoon, he had to leave the state for 2 weeks, and it was not a restraining order; it was actually work. So it was good to pod with him again, and obviously with Sophie. But
Somehow we ended up on a tangent about an indecent proposal, and I was because I'm in a hotel room with a large amount of cash,
and we were posed a question.
And
yeah. But I also see James Johnstone. Is that the same one?
Yeah,
From,
that's James Jesus Johnstone,
my old Gooner Ramble pal.
That's
All
right.
right.
That was
Ricky's,
Gooner Ramble. That was
you never know what you're gonna get on the Sunday
was that
roast.
Clive? That was Clive and
It was Giles and Akil, and Clive was on for a while. Yeah.
Rick knew Clive before he was Clive.
That's right.
He was just Cliff back then. He wasn't the full. Sometimes you don't always go full Clive, but Clive has now gone full Clive, and he's. But
Clive is now moving and schmoozing with the higher echelons of podcasting. You're never going to see him around the likes of us. He's got an image to protect.
You'll see him around the likes of us very, very soon, as a matter of fact.
Well, not if he has his way.
And Don's asking if Sophie, there's no singles in there.
Yeah, there are.
Well, okay. Well, there's a couple, but I mean, it's mostly
most honest man in charity. He said
mostly 20s. The singles aren't from the charity. The singles are from from me being a stripper.
So those are the damp ones.
Yes.
Demsek has asked this question twice. Rick, do you think Gabriel Makahales is going to go to Juve, or do you think it's bullshit?
I think it's bullshit. Well, no. Let me rephrase that. I hope it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bullshit from a Juve want him standpoint, but if they're,
yeah. Well, okay. Let's play the game again. What amount of money would you give up Gabby for?
40 million
certainly
pounds.
Not. Well, it's not 30 million pounds and Adrian Rabiot, is it?
No. This is the old show me the money.
Yeah,
he is a 60 million pound defender all day long.
Well, they just sold Delete for that amount, and now they want to. If you want Gabriel, start the discussion by giving us all the Delete money, and then you might be able to get him to agree personal terms by getting him dental implants.
He's got to stick close to Holding. He wants the hair.
That's not worked out well, has it?
They would have to sign a bunch more Gabriels on Juve to get that to be attractive to him. So no, I don't think he's going to go, but I do.
He's
think
too much of an integral part. If you said someone like if it's going to be Benny White, I think he'd love it in Italy. He'd be straight down the old Milan fashion shows, but not Gabriel. He's settled. We've got too many Brazilians at the club now. It's like being at home for him.
Can you have
we've got 4 or 5 now? Well, a certain number, yeah, because then you might as well just play in yellow and green.
Yeah. If you saw how comfortable he was in some of those Arsenal videos with the other Gabbies, I think he's in. I think he's staying.
Good. That's what I'd like to see.
He's Stan. Like Kroenke. No, he's not Stan. Yeah, the team, honestly, like moving more into Arsenal than we normally would, but the team is, and again, I focus sometimes on everything but the ability to win big things because that's just the thing that I can see and control the least. But what I was able to see from my privileged standpoint last night after the game, and I know it's just a little snapshot there, but the team just looks like they enjoy each other. They look, and it, it's not just in the halls of the stadium, out when they're on their way from the locker room to the bus. You get to see who's hanging out with who and who's talking. But they just, in every aspect of it, they look like a team that enjoys each other's company, that has leaders that aren't necessarily just the older or the longer term, but just the people who have done it before. Like Gabby Jesus is becoming a great leader. I think he's going to improve everybody around him. Jesus. Those of us who's prefer to call him Jesus, but yeah, I like this team. I have not always liked this team, but I like this team, and so that should automatically translate to top European honors.
Well, Soph was asked a question on Twitter the other day. Anyone got any questions for Dusan Dusan to his mates? And then she said here that I asked Carlo Ancelotti about the too legit to quit. They They should play that when he comes out to get to the Gabriel rumours. And let me tell you, his answer didn't make me feel comfy. That's not good, is it?
Well, Carlo Ancelotti doesn't control what happens to Gabriel, fortunately. So,
Carlo Ancelotti is manager of Real Madrid. So, why? I know that Real Madrid and Juventus are playing each other at the end of July. I don't know what tournament it is.
I have to say, I either read that wrong or I'm not quite sure what the what the connection is between Ancelotti. I'm sure there is one because Sophie wouldn't have said it if there wasn't. But
so by the sounds of that, it seems like Sophie's saying that somebody wants him.
Imagine. Oh, maybe they're saying that Madrid wants him. Although I can't imagine. I mean, imagine all the players that we need to get rid of, and then we sell Gabriel. It's not happening, folks.
He's a major component of what's going on.
He is. You want to see some pictures from this weekend? I wasn't able to upload videos, but I got a bunch of pictures.
Yeah.
And
we've got nothing else to talk about.
I mean, I think we can now move on from. I mean, I only named one of my 5 Fatberg sauces, but I think I'm just going to keep it there. So these are in no particular order because I wasn't able to edit or do anything like that with them. It's only Ray Parler. I believe I uploaded the video, which I'm glad that I uploaded it to Twitter. I'm glad that I don't have it here because then Danny would just make fun of my microphone again.
I would tell you off because I expect better of you.
Well, I don't.
Hold on. Sophie says she interviewed Allegri. That's who she meant.
Now that does make a difference.
That does.
When did she interview Allegri?
She was interviewing Vlahovic, Dusan Vlahovic.
I did not know that.
Yeah, she tweeted it about 4 days ago. Anybody got any questions for them?
We've been drinking for
maybe Juventus came out to LA.
Oh, that's quite possible. I'm been in my own little world for the last couple of days, or I've been in Rick's own little world. This is a guy. Okay, you asked a question. Who did you meet for the first time? This actually is my favorite one because I have been Danny Carbassiun adjacent for 6 years now. He is the first quote unquote, even before you, Danny. He was the first quote unquote like famous Arsenal related person that we reached out to in our podcast back when we used to do like Premier League picks because we had to fill time in our podcast because we weren't interesting. We would pick like 6 games, including the Arsenal game. And when we couldn't get a guest on because no one wanted to come on our podcast, we would send out and my son did it once. We got other people to do it. I think what's his name did it. The guy who for some reason now hates us that you introduced us to, the runner, not Chris.
Yes.
Is a hyphenated last name.
Chris, is it Chris something?
No. In any case, and we emailed him or we got in touch with him through Facebook, and he gave us like written picks. So we ended up reading his picks, and we were all proud of ourselves. And ever since then, we've casually tried to get him on the pod. I've started to say, hey, here's who we've had on the pod in case you're worried about it. Finally, got to meet the great Danny Carbassiun, inspiration to American Arsenal fans and guys from the Washington D.C. area because that's where he's from. At least from a state's perspective, that's where he scouted players from a lot. With Gideon Zellerman being one of the more high-profile ones, and unless he was just drunk and agreeing to stuff that he didn't mean to agree to, he will be coming on the podcast fairly soon. We can ask him and promote his book, which is all I've been trying to do.
Did you have his book with you? I carry the Danny Carbassiun book with me at all times in case I bump into him.
Yeah, but you could just put it under your anus and not have to like carry it around, though. I mean, it's easy. You could have
very true.
You could have books like you had crunchy bars, just like in various parts of your clothing, or just in folds. folds, and no one would.
Folds.
No one would know the difference.
I really want.
Ray Parler's on the list of people who I was excited to meet for the first time, but it wasn't the first time I've met him. So
I've met him before you.
It was of course you have. It was the first time he remembered that I had met him.
Did he ask how I was?
I did not.
No, did he ask how I was? I met him at the 2005 FA Cup final. I went, right, Ray, what are you doing here? He went, I'm a fucking gooner.
He would have, though, because I was in the process of naming every person I know to see if he knew them. And
alphabetically, I'm quite far down the list.
I almost got to Sweetman, and then they ushered me away from him. So
gutted. Well, thanks for trying.
See what else happened here. Oh, this is my humble brag. I wore this to the pub afterwards last night as well. This was my ticket to the game, and so it's not just a mistake that they gave me a press pass. Like someone had to print out the Gooners podcast on there. There were less
Googled that and come up with nothing.
There were less experienced journalists than me there covering the games. I mean, and I'm not saying unprofessional. I'm just saying less experience at that sort of thing. So,
did any of those have the other parts to the rock band set? Did anyone turn up with a set of rock band drums and a rock band guitar?
Yeah, there was a guy. Yeah, there was a guy from from the Nirvana podcast who had the rock band drums, like the wearable drum set. That you.
And then were you taking requests? Did you have a jam session?
Yeah. And in Orlando, we're putting the band back together. We're gonna use all these different instruments.
Excellent. Two dresses for everyone.
Oh my god, that's funny.
You're having a limited release LP coming out in the autumn.
He hates my rock band microphone. Apparently, it doesn't work well.
It's an embarrassment. Yeah. You need to get yourself a trolley.
This was the Gooners versus Cancer setup yesterday. Raised on a serious note. The money that you've seen needs to be combined with money we got on Venmo and in credit card, and I'm spreadsheeting it out and doing more analytics about it than ever because I obviously like to learn from experience. But so I don't know what the total is yet, but we'll be doing that pretty soon, and I'm thinking it's going to be close to 2,000 for really just two short couple hour efforts of fundraising, and that's a really good question. Mm-hmm. It's phenomenal the support that we got for Gooners versus Cancer, and the support that Arsenal America, Arsenal, and the Charm City Gooners and the Craig Willinger Fund, who is the primary charity of the Baltimore supporters group, in allowing us to kind of piggyback on their thing for the weekend and have a partnership there. It's amazing stuff. And I just get more emotional every time we do one of these fundraisers because people just are so happy to give to a good cause. So,
because the G in Gooners is Gooners.
Sorry. I've seen firsthand how hard Mike works at this. It is really commendable. But I have to also say, when he left the booth to go get drinks and use the restroom, we made
stole
more
everything
when he was gone. Yeah. We brought in more.
There were points. There were points where there are a few people. Lynn from Baltimore, my very good friend Phil, who has lived in my local area. He's lived in Florida. He's moved back. He took over yesterday afternoon and was like the best salesman ever. Like he was just essentially reaching into people's pockets and pulling money out. He was doing everything short of doing that. But it's amazing. Everyone wants to pitch in, everyone wants to help. And so, yes, finally I get to urinate and go get my own beers when I'm doing fundraising instead of having to just stand there and pee my pants.
Like Soph says, Mike, award-winning charity for a major reason.
Yes.
Applause. Very true. They don't just give them an award away for nothing.
It takes a village, okay? It's not just me. It takes a village. It's a team. Hold on, can I get this?
You fucking ruined that there. We're all having a moment there. You've pooed on it.
No, it's pretty cool. And then kind of the block party ended with this. This is my friend Shaka on the left, and then my son and his friend Daniel, who they're apparently everyone has to have the same haircut when you're 18 now.
The asparagus look.
Yeah. The asparagus look. That's a perfect way. I got to tell him that. But just a great time. And
so you got in that picture. You got Big Jake and Little Jake.
Fat Feinberg and Fit Feinberg.
And Fine. No, Fat Feinberg and Fine Feinberg.
And then there's Captain Dan, the captain of Jake's team for the year, one of his best buds. And he is a gooner. His dad is a spud, but the rest of his family are gooners, and they had a fantastic time yesterday.
Did we have a discussion about what would possess people to go to the match we were at, Arsenal, Everton, wearing a Spurs jersey?
There were 3. And Tom Rosenhammer, former guest host on the Sunday Roast, Tom Rosenhammer had words with all 3 of them. Believe me, he had some. He did not mince his words.
What was their replies?
I don't know what they said because Tom probably didn't even wait for them to answer. He just needed to say what he wanted.
One guy just ignored him. I saw another guy later after the match getting all emotional about people giving him crap, and I'm just like, what did you expect?
Maybe he was that naive that he just thought America, like exhibition Premier League game in America. I like the Premier League team. I like a Premier League team. I'm going to wear that shirt to show my support for soccer, and just doesn't know.
The way you said soccer then, highly disrespectful.
Well, I was meaning it to be.
That's me approaching one of them.
I mean, yeah.
Well, he might have thought, Mike. He might have thought because in NFL, all the fans mix together, so he might have naively thought, I can wear whatever colours I want to a match, and not really know much about the Premier League, and
that.
That's
what I'm implying. That maybe he just doesn't know the history between Arsenal and Spurs. And he was saying, this is a Premier League game here being played in my city, and I like a Premier League team, and so I'm going to wear the shirt. But it's probably the last time he'll do that. I hope it's the last time he'll do that. But yeah, that was a little nuts. There was a question from Sophie before about which of the 2 of us could drink each other under the table, and if you've ever drank with Rick, I mean, Danny likes to talk about how much I drink, but that's the video I needed to have uploaded to this. I just didn't have your permission yet.
Before I came back to this room, I was out drinking. Mike's here drinking Gatorade.
Yeah.
So there's your answer.
And one of you's making a hell of a lot of sense than the other one.
Rick can hold his own, and he becomes very funny. Now, what is not funny is what we had to deal with at about 2:00 in the morning last night.
We don't need to talk about that.
I mean, we don't not need to talk about it though. So we're in our Airbnb. We're going to talk about it.
Okay.
We're in our Airbnb.
I'm going to go to the bar.
And can you get me one?
Yeah.
Can you get us 2 so that we don't have to go back after?
Oh, it started. This is why you've got no willpower. You go to the bar, I'll have 1. No, 2. How many are there? Grab them all. Get them back
I
here.
have no willpower. It is a demonstration of the fact that I have no willpower. It is purely his presence that, it's pure pressure. But, there's just some people that you want to have a goofy time with. But anyway, at the...
remind me, Sophie's got a good question. She's got this. We'll do this after your B&B story.
Okay. So my son and his friend Dan are crashing there, and they're 18 now. So I have no problem with them seeing the ridiculous, foibles of intoxicated adults. Now, last night I was not. I had 2 or 3 beers starting at 10:30 at night because I was doing media for the game, and they don't serve alcohol in the press box, and they don't take too kindly to doing post game interviews with whiskey breath or beer breath or anything. So Tom Rosenhammer brings back some guy follows Tom Rosenhammer back to our Airbnb like a stray dog. And it's someone he knows from Richmond. I walk into the place and everyone's just laughing at this guy because he was so drunk, and he's not. Rick, when he drinks, gets so funny and so goofy. I get kind of comatose and tired and droopy and sleepy. This guy became like a baby who could not do a single thing for himself. And to make a long story short, his phone died. He had no idea where his hotel was. It was 3:00 in the morning. We needed him the hell out of our place because my kids were sleeping. My son and his friend were sleeping on that level. We're in an Airbnb. He was not going to crash at our place. That was agreed upon. And ultimately, I had to plug in his phone. I had to make him call his roommate, find out where they were staying. That took 20 minutes. I called an Uber, and he says, "I'm going to go and sit outside on the stoop and wait for the Uber." 5 minutes later, the Uber shows up, and he's just gone on a walkabout. He just left. Doesn't know where. We don't know where he went. Don't know where he was going. Didn't know that he had left. And the Uber comes, it stays, it waits, it cancels, it's gone, and his phone was which was on 1% battery when we last saw him, was obviously getting ready to die. And I'm like, my son and I are like, he's not gonna get home. I don't know how he could possibly get home. Spoiler alert: he did get back to the hotel. He ended up in the wrong room, like the wrong room with another friend who was staying there, not the James McNicholas wrong room type of situation. But so that was a little taste of our Airbnb last night. But I was like a parent to him. He just could not do anything. And I'm not changing diapers anymore. I've done that. I've done
so kind of you. Is the better Feinberg? Did he come to fly here with you, and is he flying down to the other place with you?
No, well, Baltimore's not a flight from where I live. It's a drive or a very, very short train. So I came up here on Wednesday, and he drove up yesterday with his friend, and then drove down today. So yeah, that was. Tom just said Rick's going to miss his flight back to St. Louis. That is a possibility. No, he's actually here early. He doesn't have to leave for about another 45 minutes or so. So we're gonna. Oh, what do we got? Nice. Oh, only one each?
What?
I said two. No, I was kidding.
Now you're getting picky.
You've just been accused of you're going to miss your flight.
No, I'm good.
I told the story about our stray dog that stayed with us last night.
Did you tell the story about me walking the streets of Baltimore alone at 3 a.m.?
No.
Oh, 2 a.m.
No.
There's two Abbeys in Baltimore.
Two Abbey Burger Bistros.
Abbey Burger Bistros. And in our drunken state, I thought I was at the one close to our Airbnb. So for some reason, I decided I could just walk home. I was at the wrong Abbey Bistro.
Yeah, you're about 4 miles from our Airbnb, not half a mile from
I'm walking for 20, 30 minutes. I finally get to an area where I'm just no longer feeling comfortable. And I'm alone at 2 a.m. So I start to order an Uber to get myself home, and he does a welfare check on me. He calls me.
Well, everyone was all the little bears were in the little bear house except for Rick, and then when he gets home, he tells us the story. He's like, I kept calling an Airbnb. He was calling Uber Airbnb.
Yeah.
And then he fell in his room and threw a pillow into that bounced off the ceiling and bounced back into him again. And we got that all on video. I just can't upload it. And I've just realized 20 minutes later that the scroll on the bottom of the screen is still going on. Sophie is currently nude.
I see the comment. Just drop a cool Aston Mac video.
Yeah, I've got it. I just can't figure out how to get the audio.
Oh, okay. This was when you were talking about who you meet for the first time. I had never met Aston before, so that was kind of cool.
All right, hold on a second. I've got to. Oh, for fuck's sake! Piss off.
Let me know when you're getting ready to do it. I'll continue putting some pictures up. This was
right.
From the press box down to where Jake and his friend were sitting, and then they took a picture basically of that in reverse, which these are all out of order, so I can't find it anywhere. But what else did we get? Came down towards the end of the first half.
There I am.
And right front and center. There's Jake's friend's nose all the way at the right-hand side of the screen. It's just a disembodied nose and a little bit of asparagus fluff on the end.
Chris's epic hat.
That's the most Jewish I've ever seen Jake's nose look like. I'm not used to seeing him from that angle, but
Who's his daddy?
I did not think the Feinbergs had particularly Jewish noses, but my God, that is not.
I think I've got it working now. So I'm gonna. Here we go. I'm sharing the screen. This is Mike's mate Aston. I think we're all friends with him. I know me and
Aston.
Yeah. Me and him follow each other on the Facebook, so I see some of the stuff he's up to. So hopefully you'll be. I've clicked share audio tab, so see how we get on with this. Maximize that. Did you know this was coming, Mike?
Well, yeah. Well, I knew he was brought up here by Arsenal to film some videos with the club and the players and stuff. And I mean, they were treating him. They were giving him the treatment, which was fantastic.
Good.
I mean, he's a great guy. He deserves it.
It's 1 minute long. Tell me if you can hear the audio.
I was actually driving downtown, and it looked like a huge thing. I'm like, this is a protest. This is it. It's happening right now in front of me. But I was scared. So what I did was I wore my Arsenal jersey. I was trying to get the cops to disarm themselves. And at some point, somewhere, somebody took a picture of me. Within not even a day, just a barrage. Hey, when's your next action? Where are you going to be? How can we be with you? I wore that jersey because I knew that somebody will see me with the Gooner jersey on, and I know they'll be taking care of me. I don't know where they are, but if I wear this, somebody's got me. That's what class means. My name is Aston Matt. I'm a local activist in the city of Orlando, founder of the Orlando Freedom Fighters, and I'm a proud Orlando.
Oh, is it playing again?
Yeah.
There you go. That's Arsenal.com on Twitter. Arsenal on Twitter. They've tweeted that. Now I need to go here. Stop sharing.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the whole video yet, but or I hadn't seen any of it yet. But that's a good representation of who Aston is. Also, a hilarious guy who does not take himself seriously, who it just loves people around him. Like, I mean, I met him shortly after the event that he's describing, which was really right in the wake of the George Floyd protests, and things were popping up in every single city pretty much. And we just connected. It was right around the time we started settling, or were looking for our house down in Florida. He drove down from Orlando to Sarasota, which is 2.5 hours or so, and met up with me to watch the horrific. I think it was the first leg of the Europa League semifinals against Emery's team, and we just had a great time. We just laughed, and he's met my son. He like.
Well, there was a video of you and him at the meeting at the thing. She asked him what he had on the back of his shirt, and he said, I don't think I've got anything on the back of his shirt. And you're always doing. He's been on your show so many times, hasn't he? Yeah.
We had this famous clip where I had him on the show once, and Kev Campbell came on, and he was like,
"Yeah, I saw that."
The reaction he had. I used to have those that clip readily available, but the reaction he had was just unbelievable. And to think from that step to now, he was essentially flown up by Arsenal to tell his inspirational story, and was just chilling with the players and Frimmy and the production team and all those folks. He's just a quality guy. And if you're going to be in Orlando, you can't miss him. I mean, you honestly cannot miss him. That picture of him looking large was not too much photographic trickery, because he's a big guy and just like a very, very cuddly guy. So yeah, I was glad that they did that with him. This was a photo from the press box. We all had our sodas and our popcorn. Every single photo I took did not intentionally have Kaya in it, but every single one appears to have Kaya in it. This was an interesting. I don't know if this is his family or not, but those are. It just occurred to me, those are like 3 separate years, I think, of Arsenal shirts. Maybe 2 of them from the same season, but huge Nketiah fans. What else we got
from the press conference, just some scenes of what the press room looks like. I ended up moving my seat and sat over here. That's someone whose name shall not be mentioned on the right, from a newspaper whose name shall not be mentioned. But I will tell a funny story, though. No, that's Mark Irwin from The Sun, who I was not fond of what he and his paper did. I mean, in general, I think that statement is true. But what they did after the Josh Kroenke interview in 2019 really put me off to him personally. But I was sitting behind him, and the person sitting next to him was a American, not too clued in journalist that didn't seem he might have been from the local Baltimore Sun. And he thought that Mark Irwin was there covering Everton because he thought, and that ultimately asked, that the Sun was based in Liverpool. So he goes, oh, so you're covering Arsenal for the Sun, but isn't the Sun located in Liverpool? And Mark goes, no, we're banned in Liverpool. And I almost died. Like I just wanted to start laughing my ass off because I just couldn't believe he actually said that. Like this guy knew there was a connection between the Sun and Liverpool. He just got the connection completely opposite of what the connection was.
He couldn't have got it more wrong.
Yeah, no, he's like, no, we're banned in Liverpool, and I wanted to tweet it out. I wanted to, but I'm not trying to make too many enemies in the press corps, just in case, because I will be seeing him again this week, on a couple occasions. So I'd rather just leave it there. This is my the Israeli Gunners podcast friend, who he's the person who took the video of me interviewing Matt Turner from across the way when I was there. Great guy. His name is actually Guy. Gave me a ride to the bar after the game. He was on his way home. He lives in Maryland now, but really cool person that I met last night that was also covering the game. And Alex Iwobi, this was kind of a treat. We were all standing around on the pitch afterwards because they said, we're not doing mixed zone. Mixed zone is when they put all the journalists behind the rope, and essentially the players walk from the dressing room to the bus through the mixed zone. And as Sophie can tell you from when we were in LA and from countless other times doing it that I don't have the experience doing, most of the time, most of the players will just kind of walk by and they'll either pretend they're on the phone or they might actually be on the phone. But whatever is like that 14 seconds of distraction that allows you to just not interact and engage. And then one or two will come over and give an interview. This time, instead of that, they said, Matt Turner's going to come out and talk to you guys. And you all kind of gather around, put your microphone in his mouth type of thing, or near his mouth. People were like, and then after that, we were all just kind of standing around. No one was kicking us out. No one was making us go anywhere. They were like dismantling the goals and bringing them by in tractors and stuff. And then all of a sudden, Iwobi comes out, and I'm like, you know what? He's an Everton player, but I think it'd be interesting to have a few words with him. And I asked him a couple questions, which I've tweeted out the answers to, but couldn't get him to bite and say he misses playing for the Arsenal because and wants to come back. I wasn't suggesting we would take him back, but he answered very diplomatically. Nice guy.
He did spend 15 years of his life at Arsenal, and is most fondly remembered as an Arsenal player. All the stuff that he did, it's been a bit of a tough time for him at Everton.
Yeah, well, it's been a tough time for everybody at Everton.
That's true.
Here's the one picture I took from last night after we got home. This is Tom Rosenhammer tripping and falling over the inflatable mattress that Jake's friend was sleeping on. So this is what we're used to seeing out of Tom Rosenhammer. And I think that's about it. Yeah, these are just. That's the picture where people have said, I hope your wife looks at you the same way that Mike looked at Matt Turner in this picture.
How excited was Matt to be playing for because he's an Arsenal fan, isn't he?
He is, and he really is kind of. You can tell he's a student of the game. You can tell he understands the differences between,
go on,
American soccer and English football and world football, and just he was respectful of the kind of the gulf. He didn't come across as naive or excitable or Like he just came across as genuinely wanting to make an impression, knowing how hard it's going to be, but not willing to settle for second. Not, he's not willing to settle long term. He knows he's got to battle, for that number one spot. But he's under the impression that that's what he's there to do, not to just be a cup keeper or a just in case kind of guy. So,
Sophie, I just remembered Sophie asked a question earlier. She had a Sunday roast type question. Rick, you answer this one first. The building is on fire. Tony Adams, Patrick Vieira, Thierry Henry, Dennis Bergkamp, Frank McClintock, Arsene Wenger, and George Graham need saving. You can only save 3. Who do you save?
Oh, jeez. These are totally unfair questions, but
can we both agree that Frank McClintock is dead?
Yeah.
and it's not for any personal reason. It's so just fans, even going back to 34 years of fandom, Frank McClintock does not move the needle for me. In any kind of
captain of the 70-71 double winning side.
Well, and I appreciate his that he did that. So did George Graham. But
my limitation is that I'm over here in the States. I wasn't an Arsenal fan back when McClintock was playing. I didn't get the games, couldn't watch, didn't know anything about him. But
thoughts and prayers to the McClintock family.
From those people, I can only say 3. Fair. I have to say Bergkamp number 1 because he's the one that brought me to Arsenal. Then I got to go Henry and Tony Adams, Patrick Vieira. How do you choose? I got to save Tony.
Right.
Sorry, Patrick.
There's not a
sorry.
I mean, Thierry Henry is definitely getting saved. I enjoy his punditry. He took time to take a picture with me, which is something I always appreciate. He thanked me for taking the time to take a picture with him, which is something he always appreciates.
I heard he's had it framed and put on his living room wall and one above his bed.
Actually, he had a print made and he tattooed it on his penis.
Yeah,
right next to Gunnar Soares' penis. It would be easy for me to say George Graham because of 1989 and what he meant to me.
I just realized I left the managers out completely.
Having recent, no, I don't think I want to say this. I think he's a tough guy. He can figure it out himself. So I would save Wenger. I would save Thierry Henry, and despite never having actually been able to watch him play while he was active with Arsenal because of the stage of my life and the location where I was. I was going to say Bergkamp, but if the guy can't be arsed to get on an airplane, then I can't be saving him. I'll do Tony Adams. So I'm going with Tony, Thierry, and Arsene.
Yeah, I'm going Tony, Bergkamp.
Oh, God, that's okay. Let them all die. We are a team. Jesus.
Glory as a team and we die as a team.
Can you imagine there's like every player, in addition to having the black jersey this year, like all of the black armbands that would just be on each person's arm, like it would look like a long sleeve jersey, but it would be a short sleeve jersey. What is the connotation of jersey like for proper like okay, Gav, I'm going to ask you a question. As a proper supporter,
they're not letting that go.
He knows it actually bothers me, but yet I'm going the comedic route here because I think we're just taking the piss right now. As a proper supporter, do you use the word jersey? And as someone who sells, who's in the business of clothing and apparel, is jersey an American thing, or are we supposed to say top, shirt, jersey, strip? What do we say? I'm not asking you that question, and then Gav will get to it in chat when he stops sending me angry DMs.
One day he'll bump into you, and he'll put you over his knee and give you 6 of the best.
Oh, I'm sure when we run into each other, we're gonna have one of those like punching fights where people think we're fighting, but it turns out to be like,
He's been polite. He's called you a lemon. Right, I'm saving George Graham, Tony Adams, and Dennis Bergkamp because Patrick Vieira can pick the rest of them up under one arm and run out.
Yes. I forgot how frail Wenger looks. Maybe I should save him.
You think Wenger looks frail? This is what I was going to say. The last time I saw George Graham in person, he's getting up there.
Don Juan's got it right. I'm not saying Henry as he went to Barcelona. Fucking traitor.
Yeah, no, you.
Gav says it's a shirt.
See that, and that's what I try to actually like when I'm talking about what we're having on our raffles for Gooners versus Cancer. I always try to say, a retro shirt with Lee Dixon's signature or something like that. Because it's me, like Matt Turner, trying to respect the tradition and not force all these Americans. I am very self-conscious about calling it a jersey, but then I see English people calling it a jersey. I see English people calling it a field instead of a pitch, and it gets it gets me confused. I'm like, why are you'll never say soccer, so why are these other things okay? I don't know.
While we got Gav's here, Gav, that's Loki. Did I give you Loki's phone number, Gav? He's the one who does the drawings of that of Highbury and from any viewpoint. And I was meant to give you his number, and I can't remember if I did or not. And I forgot to ask you the other day, so I thought I'd ask you live during a show. Did I give you Loki's number? One day I'll share a picture.
And now we sit and wait 45 seconds in silence, doing great programming. Yes, we will definitely share a picture.
Jersey is a cow. Jersey cows.
The differences that we have are nothing that can't be worked out over a pint, or not worked out. But as Tom Canton loves to say, we can always agree to disagree on things and remain friends. So
never agree to disagree. You argue until one of you dies of old age. Or
obviously, that's going to be if it's of old age, then it'll be Gav. If it's of health reasons, then it'll be me first.
Or a small country near France, which is where my family come from, Guernsey, next to Jersey. Oh no, I haven't given him Loki's number. All right, I shall send you a WhatsApp after the show, Gav. Give you Loki's number. Give him a ring and talk to him about the drawings that he does.
Association soccer.
I know. Yes.
That is true. So
I don't care if people call it soccer. I don't call it a jersey.
Don't at me over
Bro.
who started playing at soccer first.
Look at that lot. Gav and Loki are getting on already. They're both saying jersey like that. Good.
The Sunday roast is a show that brings people together, that gives people other people's phone numbers, that has random guests who people in the chat have known and loved for years just stroll into the camera shot. I mean, you just don't know what you're going to get with this show.
Yeah, Rick, what do you think about the Everton game?
Other than entertainment.
Oh, he's on one. Rick, what do you think about the Everton game? Are you impressed? Because Jesus, my God. How many? I tweeted when he scored that goal. How many strikers have we had in the last decade that would have 8 times out of 10 would have missed that from that angle? He's magnificent, isn't he?
Theo Walcott, although he did score a goal like that once that I can think of right off the bat, but like Theo Walcott probably would have put that in those empty seats on the second level of the stadium from that distance. What did you think, Rick? Rick had the right view from the game. Press box. Not a great place to watch games from. I would not want to be in the press box constantly. I had to come down in like the 25th minute, and I stayed until about the 68th minute, and just being down in the seats. A, so I could watch the game with my son, but B, and Rick, and B, just it's a much better experience down there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I was on the opposite side of the field where the goal happened.
Yeah, the goals were on the far side. The Arsenal section
the first
was
goal. Yeah.
Well, both. The 2 goals were 4 minutes apart.
You're right. Both goals were on the other side. I totally missed the Saka goal.
Oh, it was good
because somebody was walking in front of me, and I'm trying to make sure they didn't kick over my beer. But we were trying to get Tom was trying to get our own Gabriel Jesus. He was trying to get that song going, but it's not
the
something.
Jesus and Mary chain.
Depeche.
Is it? I mean, it's your own personal Jesus, they saying.
Yeah.
No, that's not Depeche Mode. I don't think.
If it wasn't originally them,
okay.
it has been them. Myself, take care. Great potting with you tonight. So I mean, but the experience, I mean, and the game itself, I mean, it was kind of a tale of two halves, much like the last game, but in reverse.
Yeah.
Better.
It was although the second half we were entertained by, a little aggro, little jostling, little
Handbags.
Yes.
People love, by the way, that at the like at various events during at the live show and at the fundraising thing yesterday before the game, that the bell was there. Someone walked up and said, "Is that the bell?" So
because they want to touch. Do you charge people to touch it?
The bell? No.
Yeah.
Other things, yes. I charge people to cover. I was pimping out Gunnersaurus's penis. So.
If only you had me rolling my eyes on video.
Oh, that's right. You were standing right there.
Yes.
Someone, I think it was you, was like, "God, Mike!" Like that's audible on the video. It was like, "God, Mike, come on."
That was probably me.
That was probably you. We'll listen to it and we'll determine what. Actually, let me see if I can bring it up now. But the so the game. Were you surprised at the flares? Or what do you call it? Flares or smoke? Are flares when you throw them, or are flares the ones that light up? And
these were. They weren't.
It was a smoke machine.
Smoke machine or some sort of smoke machine or smoke bomb. I don't know.
So it wasn't like
really
an illicit thing.
It wasn't like a flare that was like really bright. It was just throwing smoke.
I thought it was pretty.
Yeah,
cool,
that annoyed. I saw some people tweeting saying they were annoyed by that. Mike, have you got a press pass for Orlando as well?
I certainly do.
Do you reckon Granit Xhaka will remember you from the last time?
I reckon he will not. But we'll see what comes out of that. It should be interesting. See, there you go.
Loki says it was. I don't know why I thought that. Loki, I've got a new phone. See, a lovely ReadMe Note 11. I didn't keep your number. Send me a WhatsApp or a text, and I'll forward it to Gav. Mike Mertz is. I've rung that bell, and it's amazing. You know Mark Mertz, then?
I certainly do. Mark is a fantastic guy. He rang it, I believe, in the Tollington, in the presence of legend Perry Groves. Mark's a great guy. Very, very, very generous to Gooners versus Cancer. Top Gooner, started his own supporters club up in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where the Packers play, and spends a lot of time in London watching the games too. So yeah. Tom's here. I mean, a lot of folks that we know and love from the States. A lot of branch managers.
What's your plans for the upcoming week then? For the Orlando staff? People want to come and see you.
People want to come and see me. They should get a life.
They love you.
But the plan is I'll get in tomorrow if all goes well with the flight. I will then be going to the kit launch, the black kit launch, which looks like it's going to be fantastic. I hope they have my size. I doubt that they will. So I'll probably have to go on Arsenal Direct and order it, even though I'm like at the goddamn kit launch itself. But that's going to be at the kit launch it's going to be Aston Mac is like hosting that. Ray Parler is going to be there again. And a few other things going on, I think, at the time. So I'll be there. And then we got the game on Wednesday. We got the game on Saturday. We're going to do another live podcast show, panel type show on Thursday night from Wall Street in Orlando. But really, if you are for some reason watching this game and you're not part of Arsenal America, or you don't check out the Facebook page, and most of the folks that I'm seeing that I know for a fact are from America in the chat are very plugged into that already. So I may be speaking to no one in particular, but join the Arsenal America group group on Facebook. All the information about the events, bar meets, opportunities to hang out are all there, and it's going to be a fun time. The kit launch is tomorrow, about 6 p.m. UK time, and I don't know if there's any kind of. All I know about the kit launch is that I have a ticket to it, and they're going to launch a kit. They're going to launch, and Orlando is near Cape Canaveral where they launch spaceships. So they're not just launching the kit to the shop; they're launching it into space.
It's not that close.
Cape Canaveral? It's not that far.
Yeah. 45 minutes, an hour away.
Right.
Yeah.
So they're going to get a spaceship and they're going to launch the shirt. So yeah, that'll be the case. Tailgate before Saturday. Tom, tell me what I'm missing, because Tom's one of the organizers, and frankly, he's the person that has ensured my entrance into the kit launch. Tom, do you know if it's going to be? Now I'm having conversations with the faceless name, the faceless, voiceless cat people.
That's why we're special, Michael. That's why people like it.
Because you have been involved in the planning process. Is it going to be televised? Is it something that people across the pond can participate in visually in any kind of way? I know it's closed to the public. It's a ticketed event as far as presence at the event, but are they just basically going to do video montages and segments from it, or is it going to be something that's televised? So the best kit launch ever was LA. When they launched the away kit in 2019 in LA, it was huge. There were like 250 Arsenal America people there. Freddie Lundberg was there. Like 10 of the players were there. We all participated in that. We were on stage.
Jamie Foxx was there.
Jamie Foxx was like the DJ. Open bar with top shelf liquor for like 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
And Eric Arsenal just dancing on top of a stage like some sort of a fool. But that was epic, and I think they've learned from that now, because I think Adidas paid Puma paid for that, yeah. and I think they regretted that. But so tomorrow it sounds like, especially because 1:00 in the afternoon in Kissimmee, it's not even in Orlando. It probably won't be quite the party that one in LA was, but
right.
And you were at that, right, in LA?
Yeah,
we just didn't know each other yet.
Yeah.
So tailgate before Saturday, yeah. And I know he's not asking me if there is one. I know he's telling me to mention it. But the tailgate before Saturday is where is it going to be? It's at here. Oh, I got the. Oh, I actually uploaded this. Hold on a second. I think
show the picture.
Yeah, I think this should have been on no, did it not upload? All right. Well, it's pre-match party on Wednesday, 3:30 at the Harp and Celt, Harp and Celt, which is a nice footy bar in downtown Orlando. Also headed back there after the match. The 7:30 match against Orlando City that night. Thursday is going to be kind of the Gooners versus Cancer and Gooners podcast show and bar hangout on Thursday night at Wall Street. I'm going to try to get Stu to be on the pod again, or on the panel. We're going to try to get James. Kaya should hopefully be able to do it. Talk to Lee Judges about it. So it should be should be an interesting panel. I just have to figure out whether Stu will do a podcast with someone who is connected to AFTV, even if it's Judge. I have to find that out, because I know he has pretty strong feelings about that. Hopefully I can bring the world together. I know Gav won't watch anything with anyone from AFTV. But again, I strongly urge people to stop lumping them all together and judge them as individuals. And then you have just a couple of awfully toxic, disgusting individuals and a few who are actually quite nice. And then on Saturday, 3 p.m. pre-match party at Fuel Orlando, and then the games at the big Camping World Stadium against Chelsea at 8 p.m. And after that, it's just random people walking the streets of Orlando drunk.
Again.
That's all I have for tonight. I'm pooped now, and I want to give Rick a proper send off, because he's got to get in a bus in about 20 minutes, or a little shuttle thing. So
yeah.
So Danny, anything else you want to put out there into the world on this 22nd episode of the Sunday Roast?
Carl is arranging a podcast for the week. It seems the Pirate has peaked at 2 shows. Maybe 3, and now he seems to have given up the pre-season shows, which is a shame. Too busy running and taking pictures of himself half naked on the Instagrammings. And so he should have a show middle of next week, hopefully. And Ryan's channel is maybe doing an Arsenal quiz tomorrow night, around about 7 o'clock. I didn't have enough notice today. I couldn't have done it because I had Sean and her mum and Sean's mate here. And then they didn't leave till about 8 o'clock. And so then I was doing this at 9, so I couldn't have done it. But hopefully, we'll get to do the Mr. Arsenal podcast doing an Arsenal quiz, and they are great fun. I think it's going to be Mike, the English blogger in America. What's Mike's McDonald?
Yep.
There's Mike McDonald. There's
Tennessee, brilliant writer for Gunnerstown. Writes positive needs and hopes. Follow him on Twitter. He's one of the nicest, most intelligent, and giving in the sense of his time and analysis to writing guys out.
The judge might be there. Andrew from Dull Square to Where, he might be there. Melvin says he can't make it. It's his, I think he said it's his son's birthday tomorrow. And so they might get some others on. Ryan will obviously be there. So hopefully get that done because I really enjoy those, the Arsenal quizzes. They're brilliant.
Well, you do quite well at them. When I try to tackle those things, it's more just a show of how stupid. What did I say? What did I say? Miguel Almunia. Like I got the answer to I was brilliant and got the answer to the Manuel Almunia. Manuel Almunia was the answer to the question. I buzzed in first, basically, or I got it in one hint, but called him Miguel Almunia, and the argument began: do I get the points? Do I not get the points? I look like an idiot. But then again, what's new? So. You have been watching the Sunday Roast, a Bergkamp Wonderland, combined with the Gooners podcast, combined with Gooners versus Cancer. I was looking for I had a cup here somewhere. There it is. So please go to goonersvcancer.com. Sophie is no longer nude, and this has been the Sunday Roast.
Thanks for watching the Sunday Roast with Mike and Danny. This is sometimes Mike, and this is Dan, and we have fun.
I thought you were going to edit that and put me as a Jew in there.
Leno, and here's sexy Mike.
You know my Jewish picture.
Riding a horse.
There's always time for that.
Danny loves junk food.
Maybe for the new season.
We know he does. And Mike does tricks.
Are we being
renewed? I'm the one
we
eating
love
stuff, and you're the one doing
but hate
football
talking
skills.
about it. So we made this show. Why you watch it, we don't know.
But it's fucking hard work. Get off me, you buzzy cunt. Fuck off. I hate them. Oh, I had a thing up.
The Sunday Roast is a joint production of a Bergkamp Wonderland and the Gooners podcast. Join us every Sunday night at 10 p.m. for all the entertainment you didn't know you wanted, but can't live without. Have a great week, everybody. We out.